Plaster.
Paint. Destroyed, bruh.
If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AL with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Well, it's underway. You know that old cliche? And cliches, usually based somewhat in fact. But there is a cliche that the series doesn't start until the road team wins. Well, they started last night, Western Conference Finals in the NBA, Eastern Conference Finals in the Stanley Cup. As the road teams were winners last night, and it might have caught a lot of people by surprise. What's up? Merry Thursday to you as you barrel towards Memorial Day weekend, a long weekend, a graduation weekend, a start of summer weekend, a mid-80s weekend, 85 tomorrow. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck, how you living?
What's up?
You all right?
All right.
Surprise last night. So I think you hit both the under and the Mavericks plus the points last night, right? I think you get two winners again yesterday.
I'm not surprised.
Which means you should hit the casino. And I mean,
won't do that because I'll immediately lose everything.
Is that how that works?
This Mavericks team is in a special place right now.
Explain.
Well, you have to take over the game players, and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving that are playing fantastically off each other.
Yep.
The balance of Kyrie taking over the first half, Luka Doncic taking over the fourth quarter. You have a team of players that have bought into their role very quickly, by the way, when you look at P.J. Washington, how impactful he has been. And he was a trade deadline acquisition, and sometimes you don't see that immediate impact in year one from a player.
Charlotte?
At the deadline, yeah. And P.J. Washington for Joe Basketball Fan X doesn't mean anything, but this is a perfect player in a system like this. He's a stretch four, like pretty much guard 2 through 5 when needed, and he has been phenomenal because he's making the easy shots that are being created by two fantastic one-on-one players that get others involved. And by the way, it's when you have the reminder of diving into what Dallas has done defensively. They're playing at a very high level. They've done that in the season. They've done that in the postseason. And to take advantage of a Minnesota team that Anthony Edwards, he said it. It's like, man, we were just tired in a tight game and go in there and get game one. Big time for the Dallas Mavericks.
Ain't going to get any easier. I mean, they get 1 day rest. They're back at the next day. There's no time to be tired. Everybody's tired. You've been playing since October.
They didn't look tired when we won by 45.
Right.
Didn't look tired when we came back from 20, and now you're tired?
I love him. And I love his attitude. I just don't know that was the right messaging. I know Draymond Green jumped all over him on the TNT postgame show last night about how you can't be like that, and that's people are following you. Dallas is nice, and P.J. Washington has been spectacular for them. At times, he's led them in scoring. Last night he had 13, but he hit big buckets. And they got dudes who just do it, and they don't turn the ball over, and they defended last night. And last night, Anthony Edwards shot 6 for 16 from the field, and it looked laborious at times for Minnesota on the offensive side. Luka Doncic was Luka Doncic. 15 of his 33 in the fourth quarter. Kyrie had 24 of his 30 in the first half. And so you're saying, look, one guy takes over, the other he yields to the other guy. It's the first time in 6 tries under Jason Kidd that the Mavericks have won game 1. Isn't that crazy? They've won 4 of their last 5 series since he's been the head coach. But they don't win game 1 a lot. They did. I think everybody liked Minnesota going in, right? Minnesota, because they knocked off the Nuggets. And it's who they were beating, right? I'm trying, for the life of me, who Dallas wouldn't beat in the last round? I know I'm supposed to know this. They beat the Clippers, and then they beat
Thunder.
The Thunder, the number 1 seed. Yeah, never mind, the number 1 seed. Like, why am I blanking on it? They just beat the number 1 seed. I kind of felt down the stretch Minnesota went a little bit Pacers. I thought they committed a lot of bad turnovers. I thought that they hurt themselves down the stretch. But I credit the Mavs. Chris Finch was their head coach. Quote, terrible offense down the stretch. Bad shots, turnovers, no composure. We've got to be better in clutch moments. And as I was sitting there watching, I'll show you a text. Ryan's going through stress right now. He's a Dallas, poor guy. He's a Dallas sports fan and LSU. He's got LSU baseball and softball going on. And then the poor guy's got both of his hockey team, his basketball team. in the
Poor
conference
guy.
finals. Yeah,
Both your teams are in the conference finals.
You didn't sense the sarcasm.
Sorry, I didn't.
I apologize. I'll make it more bold next time, Drew. Yeah, poor guy.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, he's like, yes.
Boy, live for a sports fan.
Like literally, Dallas sports fan is living the life right now, and
they need something because the Cowboys are never going to give it to them.
he's like, this is going to be the longest 2 weeks of my liver's life, between the Mavs stars as well as LSU baseball and softball, lots to watch. And he's like, Rangers regular season takes back seat. The previous 2 weeks were rough, with both on the same night, but mostly not this round. By the way, JJ's calls are looking good tonight. Yeah. Poor guy, poor Dallas sports fan. I mean, you got to watch it both on the same night. Now they're on other nights. You got to stress through. Really? Both
You're a
your
Rangers
teams?
fan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he won a World Series. He's got both his hockey team and his basketball team in the conference finals, and he's an LSU guy. I mean, you feel bad for him?
Oh, that's just the stress. It's overwhelming.
I mean, how do you get enough bourbon? You know, you got to go to Costco and buy the big jugs. I guess the good stuff shows up on Monday, is what I'm told. I don't even know. Somebody told me that. Like, they get the Blantons and all the good stuff. Like, if you go to Costco on Monday, I guess they get, like, some really, really good bourbons. But they go like that because a lot of people now know. Now even more people know. All right, so this was last night more about the Mavericks or the Timberwolves. It's hard not to say the Mavericks, right?
Yeah, they came out. They continued their fantastic run of form in the postseason. You look at Minnesota. There's some areas that they settled in, and part of being tired goes to shooting a bunch of threes and then getting beat up inside. We're talking a team that has Rudy Gobert, who the more you watch, is not the defensive player of the year. But
and I've been thinking the same thing, man.
not.
It's funny you say that. I watch him and I
team
keep
was great.
expecting him to make bigger plays and be better, and he's just not.
And the way that Dallas beat them up inside, 62 points in the paint.
Can I tell you one of my favorite things that Dallas did? I don't know who their general manager is. Do you? Whoever's making personnel moves there is obviously the trade for P.J. Washington was great. Daniel Gafford is a ball player that you've never heard of, and he came out of Arkansas, who's been
Stuck
terrific.
in Washington for the last few years. And it's just one of those guys who's a good player
And then
and excels in a role.
and the draft pick of Lively, and he was 12th overall, and they didn't draft him. They how'd they get him from Oklahoma City?
No, they drafted him.
Oh, they did.
Yes. It was one of those. It was a draft day trade. Like
Oh, so
the rights. Because that's what happens in the NBA. Like, even if it's a trade, like it will still say you were drafted by,
Oklahoma City.
but you were immediately traded to Dallas.
Okay, that draft day again. A guy 7'1", 230. You know, and I know I've said this to you before, and I want to talk to Kenny about this tomorrow. It feels like the pendulum swinging back. So for the last 15-ish years, it's gotten away from being really dependent on a big guy. Now, I'm not telling you it's gone back to the traditional big, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, back-to-the-back big man. But you start looking through and how important bigs are, and like Lively is, I think and I know he comes off the bench. I think he's made a big difference. Gobert obviously has made a big difference. Karl Anthony Towns made a big difference. Luka Doncic is the best player in the game. You know, I think Porzingis makes a difference. I'm not telling you everybody is centering around that. But you look at Victor Wembanyama. You look at Chet Holmgren. You go around the league, and all of a sudden, there's big guys, these 7-footers, who are making a difference, and in some cases, becoming the centerpiece of what's going on. And it feels like maybe you got to go back and find one.
It hasn't necessarily been a focus, but you've always needed it. If you look at when the Warriors were winning, Kevon Looney.
Yeah, but he was like
important.
a 6'10" rebounder who came off
exactly
the bench. But the offense never flowed through him.
The offense doesn't throw through Lively or Gafford.
But
Lively comes off the bench.
All right, you're right on Lively and Gafford. You're right on those two. But Jokic, Wembanyama, I'm not going to tell you the offense flows through Holmgren. Okay, but a lot of these other bigs I'm talking about, Karl Anthony Towns, are part of the offense. It may not flow through. It's an Anthony Edwards offense, but Cat is a big piece of it. Jokic, obviously, is the piece of it. But you're right. On those two, it doesn't. I just, Giannis, right? All of a sudden, maybe it's not all of a sudden, bigs have become a much bigger.
They're just playing inside more because you look at, to your point of the last 15 years, like Chris Bosh was an impactful player for the Heat during that run.
Yeah.
And that was the end of kind of the Tim Duncan Spurs era.
Okay, but how many of those guys have
Kevin
there
Love,
been over the last?
Draymond Green.
But those guys are 6'8" power forwards, not like 7'1" centers, right? I mean, like Lively's a center, right? Cat is a center who pops outside and claims to be the best 7-foot shooter in the history of the game, and he might not be wrong. I don't know. I'm just watching it, and I long point on whoever's running Dallas Mavericks personnel. Put him up for executive of the year. Like the moves to get Washington and Gafford, where'd Derrick Jones come from? I mean, they drafted him out of UNLV.
No, he's free agent.
Oh, he was a free agent? I mean, there's a starter. So their starting lineup is P.J. Washington, who was drafted 12 overall by someone else, a free agent in Jones, Gafford, who was drafted in the second round by someone else, and they found him, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And the only one that's homegrown is Doncic. Right? I guess Gafford is, right? Because that would be considered homegrown on a draft day trade.
Lively, yeah. He was their pick.
Lively, yeah.
It just was
okay
through OKC.
So Doncic and I mean, look, they've done a hell of a job. I think Tim Hardaway gives them some, a few nice minutes a night when he's there, or when they play him. Yeah, they're put together nice, man. They're really nice. This is gonna be a hell of a series, don't you think?
I do.
Is it over yet?
Nope.
Not ready to call it over yet? All right. Tonight, you get the game 2 for the East. Celtics and Indiana Pacers. Interesting watch tonight. I mean, it's got to be an interesting watch tonight, doesn't it? To see how the Pacers come back. If I told you tonight that, and I don't know if you've looked at the spread. Have you looked at the spread yet?
I have not.
What do you think?
Celtics 9.5.
9.5. 8.5. 224 and a half. Pacers play this one tighter. Celtics come out and run them out of the building.
I think Celtics run them out the built.
Do you really?
At least cover.
Really, 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 really big gut check tonight for the Indiana Pacers. And you'll see what they're all about tonight. All right, we got a lot of show for you today. Here on this award-winning version of the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. The number to get in is 505-246-0610. That's both the Sports Animal phone line and the Sports Animal text line. You can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the X, it's _JJ Buck, and on the Facebook, OD and the AM. Adrian's producing on that side. You can watch the show. That's right, we're on television. Comcast Channel 26 on our Facebook page and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. We got the hoops to get through. New Mexico United knows against whom, when, and where they will play the quarterfinal of the U.S. Open Cup, what all that means. And we might have finally hit that breaking point on salaries in baseball, says the richest team in sports. Can that really be? We come back, though. The All-NBA team is out. Who got snubbed? Who got on? And Caitlin Clark looking for that first victory as a pro. Did she get it last night? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello.
It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale, just drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back to
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
AM 610, the sports animal.
Oh, the Fever will win. They will get a victory. And it'll be a big deal. And maybe some of the weight will come off Caitlin Clark's shoulders, but probably not. Indiana Fever lost 85-83 in Seattle last night. They're 0-5. Caitlin Clark said she's trying to be as positive as possible. Quote, "You're never happy to lose. It's not fun, but at the same time, there's just a lot of things to build on. I'm just trying to be as positive as possible, continue to learn, continue to stack days. I know that first win will be right around the corner." That was her quote. She had, I think, would she have 21 points last night? 21 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. The attention is amazing. The support is amazing, and the hate is amazing to me in a lot of respects. And I say hate. I think the support is overwhelmingly more than the hate. I think the hate's coming from a select few, and I think it's what we do. And I've told you this. One of those things I so dislike about how we handle our superstars in this country or anybody else. Society loves to build you up to break you down. And Caitlin Clark has been built up, and there's a faction of the society who now wants to see she's not that good, or she's not all that, or whatever, and that's fine. Victor Wembanyama took a minute. By the way, what was Victor Wembanyama's team's record in the NBA this year? Do you recall how good this great player was, this rookie of the year? I will remind you what the Spurs record was in the National Basketball Association. They were 22-60, one game shy of being the worst team in the Western Conference. They did not win a lot of games. He, like she, put up numbers. There's a reason the San Antonio Spurs had the first pick. There's a reason the Indiana Fever had the first pick. They're not very good. And going to a new level and watching her play, she belongs. There's no argument she belongs. She's also not the best player at the best level. Now, maybe she will be at some point, right? Maybe at some point she will be, but she's not. And that's okay. She is a whole lot of other things, and I will get into that. But watching her struggle and watching people respond is really, really interesting.
Everything you laid out is fair. It's the usual conversation. But Caitlin Clark got it. It was in one of those generational talent conversations, whether it was fair or not. And so that's the way people are reacting to it. And how, she's the reason the WNBA is going to change. She's the reason that now they have charter flights, even though if they might have been working on it to this point. It's, well, when she comes in the league, teams are starting to fly charter and get better travel. So there's added pressure on her. While you broke it down fairly, she is going to be criticized a lot more for her game when so much was put on her shoulders.
She is, and I need you to understand what I'm saying, and not hear the headline here. Okay, she is generational. Okay, college basketball's never seen anything the numbers wise that she put up, and it's not like she put them up against nobody. She put them up against some of the best competition in college basketball, some of the best competition college basketball has ever seen at the women's level. Am I wrong? Is the game gotten better every year? Has it gotten deeper?
You're not wrong.
All right. So these aren't some inflated numbers. It's not like, remember when there was that dude, the coach's kid, the Davis kid at Detroit Mercy, who almost broke Pete Maravich's record, and Maravich did it in 3 years, and this guy did it in 5, and he was, and I'm not taking anything away from the young man who's playing at that level, but this is the top level of her game. Okay. So those weren't inflated numbers. The impact that she has had on the game is, while others may, it's Tiger-esque. Okay, it is. Look, man, you didn't know what the Indiana fever was. If I'd have asked you, I don't know, 7-8 weeks ago or 9 months ago, you'd have thought it was an STD that was going around the Midwest. Oh, is that too much? I saw your face on that.
Some people might have gone arena football, but we can go there.
All right, we could have gone arena football. Is it the indoor lacrosse team? Okay. All right, if I'd have said it's the arena football league team, it's the WNBA team, it's an STD going around the Midwest, or it's the minor league hockey team in Fort Wayne. You think it would have been unanimous? It was WNBA. You think WNBA
unanimous by people? No.
You think it would have even won the multiple choice poll?
It would have been pretty spread out.
I think STD would have won by more people. But I mean, we'll never know. Here's the point. She's not on a good team. I want you to hear this. If you exclude the WNBA's 97 inaugural season and the 1999 season when ABL players joined the league, you can't find a rookie who's putting up better numbers. In fact, only Candace Parker, Hall of Fame, she was named Rookie of the Year and MVP in her first season, can truly say that she made a perfectly seamless transition from college basketball to dominance in the NBA. And that was in the 90s. And by the way, Caitlin Clark has not averaged so far. So she leads the Fever in scoring. 17 points a game is best amongst rookies. Not surprising. In terms of scoring, so it puts Clark on pace to have a better first season than many current WNBA stars, like Casey Plum, like Sabrina Ionescu, like Alyssa Thomas. Names maybe you've heard of, maybe you've not. Clark is only the fourth player in WNBA history, JJ, to record 50 points and 15 assists through 3 career games. Company she shares with Nikki McCray, Sue Bird, Candace Parker. I'm giving you facts. I'm not trying to soothe this thing over. Her shooting splits, they're not great. She's 40% from the floor. She's 32% from three-point range. But you know that she's going to be a good shooter. She's too good to stay at those numbers. And she's dealing with a higher class of an athlete and a defensive scheme she's never seen. All right, but they're 0-5 or whatever. Okay. The team's not good. JJ, everything about what she's doing is... Oh, by the way, she just finished a full season 3 weeks before she started this one. While the majority of these other women, the non-rookies, were in an off-season conditioning program. Is it all right if I wait till year 2 to decide if she's going to be really good?
It's not. You got to know now.
All right, then I know. Then I know. Then she's really damn good.
She's good.
Then she's really damn good. I'm just going to tell you, I have watched more WNBA, and it's not a lot, in the last 2 weeks than I've watched in my life. And I don't believe I'm alone. Do you?
No.
So why? Because we build you up and so you needed to come in and dominate? Who was going to come in and dominate? Give me a guy in the NBA who came straight out of college and dominated. Because it wasn't Michael Jordan. It wasn't Kobe Bryant. It wasn't Akeem Olajuwon. It wasn't Victor Wembanyama. It wasn't LeBron James. Who did that? You got a guy who came in and was MVP candidate rookie season?
MVP candidate rookie season?
Because I sure as hell don't.
That's few and far between.
I can't recall one. Like, there's been good rookies, man.
LeBron was 9th in MVP voting as a rookie.
All right. Good for him.
Not too bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And that was 22 years ago. One dude considered to be the greatest of all time. All right. 9th. Who's ahead of him that year? Does it say? That's right.
Kevin Garnett was the MVP that year, followed by Tim Duncan and Jermaine O'Neal.
Jermaine O'Neal.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Paige Stojakovic.
How about
finished
that?
ahead of Kobe Bryant.
All right.
What a year.
That's my point. What year was that? 2002?
2003-04 season.
03-04 season. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, man. The expectations on what she's doing are based out of ignorance, because people don't believe that there was the kind of talent in this league that there is. And so in your consciousness, if the league didn't exist and whoa, this chick's so good, and I say it the way people are saying it, that's not my vernacular on this, then she should go in and dominate. Well, all of a sudden she's up against the other best in the world. And by the way, she's holding her own. She's putting up really good numbers. She's not the best. She's not dominating a league full of the best in the world. That does not make her a failure. Just because she's the only thing you knew about the game doesn't mean the game wasn't great before she got there. What's become one of my favorite sayings? Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not good, right? Whether it's bands, sports, food, restaurants, people, whatever. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not good. Oh, well, I've never heard of that. All right, but that's fine. But it's still pretty good. Learn about it. I think what she's doing is phenomenal. And I will go by it. Her impact is Tiger-esque in regards to her sport. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Hour.
We're all moving a little fast.
Pitch. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get one run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something.
Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up. Okay. Thank you.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
LeBron James got in on Caitlin Clark, too. I want to get there later. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. 505-246-0610. How you living today? Mavericks beat the Wolves last night, 108-105 in Minneapolis. Dallas has a 1-0 lead in the Western Conference final in the NBA. Game 2 tonight in the East. It'll be in Massachusetts. Boston and Indiana will go tonight. You catch any of the hockey last night? Florida goes to Madison Square Garden, wins 3-0. It was 1-0. They get a second, then an empty netter. And frustrated the blue shirts all night long. I watched a ton of the hockey last night, too.
The Rangers could not do the one thing you need to do.
What, put the biscuit in the basket?
Pucks on net.
Yeah. They
shots on goal, man.
I know.
Shots on goal.
Good things happen.
It's simple, but you got to pepper. The goaltender of the Panthers are fantastic with block shots, limiting the Rangers' opportunities. That was a 1-0 game forever.
And Bobrovsky's terrific. He's been great in the whole playoffs. He's a gigantic human being, too. How big is he? I'll find it, but, I mean, he looks huge. All right. National Football League. You got a lot of the OTAs going on. And focus will always be on the champions. There's like 2 teams that focus will always be on. The Cowboys are the champions, and they're always going to be different teams. See what I did there? Kansas City is the champions. Patrick Mahomes is the centerpiece of what they do there, despite what you might think about Taylor Swift. Patrick Mahomes was asked about all the noise around the champs. I think this is proven, right? In sports, boring is good. When there's not a lot going on, when it's quiet, it's good, right? I mean, two of the noisiest franchises in sports are the Cowboys and the Lakers. What have they won a lot of lately? One championship in a bubble, right? Usually it's pretty quiet around the Kansas City Chiefs, but they've had the off-season stuff. Rashee Rice has been involved in 2 off-field incidents with the law. And Harrison Butker, and we haven't gotten into this at all, became quite controversial because of a graduation speech he gave at Benedictine College, a Catholic university. So Patrick Mahomes was asked about all of this. And if you're not familiar with Butker, I think you're familiar with Rashee Rice. He was driving that leased Lamborghini that caused an accident, and then he left the scene, and then he was a person of interest in a incident outside a club.
I'm adding that to the list.
What's that?
Leased Lamborghini.
Leased, Leased?
Fantasy football team.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm down with that. Should I put leased Lamborghini? I think that's actually really good. You could put Butker's speech on there as well. Harrison Butker made a commencement speech at Benedictine College. It's a Catholic school in Kansas. 20-minute speech. Butker addressed female graduates in the audience, and he addressed them about what he called, quote, most diabolical lies, end quote, that they've been told. And he used his wife, Isabel, as an example, and intimated that graduates should be most excited about taking on the vocation of homemaker, more so than their career, more so than their degrees, and it was his beliefs. It is, from what I understand, deep Catholic belief amongst some people, and it was at a Catholic school, and it was certainly taken as offensive, I guess is an easy word to use there. So Mahomes was asked about all this stuff. He said he didn't necessarily agree with some of the comments made by his teammates, by Butker. But Mahomes said, I will judge him by the character he shows every single day. Quote, there's certain things that he said that I don't necessarily agree with, but I understand the person that he is, and he is trying to do whatever he can to lead people in the right direction. And that might not be the same values as I have, but at the same time, I'm going to judge him by the character that he shows every single day. That's a great person, and we'll continue to move along and try and help and build each other up to make ourselves better every single day. But at the end of the day, we're going to come together as a team, and I think that'll help out eliminating all blah, blah, blah. So it's like all the things he's supposed to say. Andy Reid was asked about it. The head coach was asked about what his kicker said. And look, he's a good kicker. If he wasn't a good kicker, they probably, it's easier to cut ties. But he said everybody's got their own opinions. Quote, we're all a microcosm of life. Everybody is from different areas, different religions, different races. And so we all get along. We all respect each other's opinions. Not necessarily do we go by those, but we respect everybody to have a voice. It's a great thing about America. And we're, just like I said, a microcosm of that. And my wish is that everybody could kind of follow that. We haven't gotten into this. It was a bit of a misogynistic view, but it was an old school view, I guess. And it's a view that's held by people. It's not my view that the woman's greatest, what did he call it? I want to use his word, that she should be most excited to take on the vocation of homemaker. And while I believe if that's something a woman decides to do is be a mother, I don't know that it's mine or Harrison Butker's or anybody else's position to tell a person. I mean, I've got an 18-year-old daughter who's going to college next year. I want her to decide what her priorities are. She's got a foundation. I believe we've laid a foundation in her first 18 years in her upbringing, and let her decide. Is her number one priority being a homemaker? Being a mother, being a professional, being a person, whatever. It's not fair. But by the same token, you bring in a person to be a keynote speaker, you're asking them to bring their opinion. And you brought in a deeply Catholic individual with deeply Catholic views to a Catholic university. And I'm not sure I heard a whole lot of offense coming from the people who were there, although there were a few, as opposed to people on the outside. Well, JJ, I don't agree with where he was coming from. I don't know that I have as big a problem as everybody else does. As how dare he say it?
If only we could keep this same energy up for everything then. Because there's been a lot of conversations where we haven't been able to take a step back and work through opinions, even if you don't agree with them, and move on. I think what it shows you, if you're going to do something, people are much more inclined to move on if you do it outside of the athletic landscape, even if you are an athlete. So not on company time, if that makes sense.
Which this was. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if not some dude like in a locker or something.
Yeah, if he'd have said this in the locker room, if people would have lost their mind, shut up and dribble, right?
I don't know, because I think it's still a very polarizing topic about, again, you embrace what you like, and then you are not able to hear something you don't like and move on like that. And I think what people are saying about this is right, but I think it's one. It's like, all right, let's keep the same energy when the other topics come up. If anything social related, etc., comes up, or is it going to be this calm and collected?
I don't know that I think this has been very calm. I think there's been some outrage.
Well, I think from the NFL standpoint, everyone's kind of handled it that's been asked about it that way.
Okay.
Like, oh, it's someone's opinion. Let's move on.
Okay. I mean, he's not calling for a movement or violence. He was at a Catholic
No, I don't
university.
think a lot of people out there calling for violence.
Yeah, fair enough. It was at a Catholic university, kind of speaking Catholic traditional views, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. And are they? I don't know. Are they old?
That's the thing, and that's the thing. With this, it's opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not here to.
And he kind of went to the church to speak to the choir, right?
Yeah.
So to speak, as opposed to a guy or a lady. And I see where you're kind of going with this, and I appreciate it. As opposed to somebody using their post-game press conference to make the social stand. Is that what you're saying?
Or say anything anywhere these days, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. Or on their own
Podcast,
podcast,
whatever,
yeah, their own thing. Fair. What Mahomes said about Rashee Rice as well, and this quarterback says, I don't play for the money, but I'm gonna take it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on?
Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito, he's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado, be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
I tell you to stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo, where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
College and told the ladies there that your biggest calling is to be a homemaker. I'm going to be very clear on this too. There's a group of nuns who are associated with Benedictine College, and they're weighing in on this as well, and they don't agree with it. The Sisters of Mount St. Scholastica, they describe their group as a founding institution and sponsor of Benedictine College. They shared a statement on the group's official website, basically saying that Harrison Butker's speech does not represent the Catholic Benedictine liberal arts college that our founders envisioned and in which we have been so invested. Part of what they said is this, quote, instead of promoting unity in our church, our nation, and our world, his comments seem to have fostered division. One of our concerns was the assertion that being a homemaker is the highest calling for a woman. These women have made a tremendous difference in the world in their roles as wives and mothers and through their God-given gifts in leadership, scholarship, and their careers. But it goes on to talk about how the school has taught both men and women, not just how to be homemakers in a limited sense. Instead, their teachings have focused on how to make a gospel-centered, compassionate home within themselves where they can welcome others as Christ, empowering them to be the best versions of themselves. The nuns went on later to say they reject a narrow definition of what it means to be a Catholic and want to be known as an inclusive, welcoming community. Yeah, so I guess when what did you just tell me? You kind of screwed it up a little bit when the nuns don't agree with you.
Got the nuns coming at you, and you brought up a point too, right before he came back, of commencement speech.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're like, this is what you're signing up for, is to put on a show. And Harrison Butker, you don't go to the kicker's locker a lot. I haven't seen him bounce around doing a lot of things. So he's like, guess what, guys? I have 20 minutes, and I'm going to let you know about everything in this 20 minutes. And by the way, congratulations on graduating.
Yeah, and be good moms. Aaron, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. Hello, Aaron.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking the call. Yeah, I loved hearing that because I was going to say, as someone who's a Catholic and went to 13 years of Catholic school and was taught by priests and nuns, I never got that opinion. I understand the different factions within the church, and they're entitled to their opinion. But what I really wanted to say was, if everyone wants to have understanding, what happened to Colin Kaepernick is what comes to mind. I don't think a lot of people may not realize that in the beginning he started out sitting for the national anthem, and he talked to a Navy SEAL who said, that's disrespectful, which I agree with. If you sit down, so they came up with a compromise to kneel, which I thought was fine. And for some reason, well, I know what the reason was, somebody who, in my opinion, isn't Catholic, made an opinion, and everyone jumped down this guy's throat, and he was without a job. And so, if they're asking for understanding, fine, but let's do it both ways. I think what happened to Colin Kaepernick was horrible because, he had an opinion, and, in my opinion, it's an actual issue, and people should realize that and actually do some homework and realize why he was kneeling and not sitting. And anyway, that's all I got. Thanks a lot, guys.
I appreciate it. And thanks, Aaron. I think that's kind of where you were going with this. I don't know necessarily straight to Colin Kaepernick, but I mean, other social issues and other athletes who have expressed their opinions on other things other than what happens in the field of play.
Yeah, it's calm down some. That we're going to have another moment at some point in time that's big and groundbreaking for not just athletics but society, and are we going to be able to stay on the same path of opinions, listen, while I might not all agree, you can say it, type of energy that we're kind of getting through this.
So are you suggesting it was more tolerable because of who he is and what his topic was? It was,
well, yeah, you just laid it out there like, well, he's speaking to Catholics, so
right. That was He was invited to speak to an audience, and you know what? You've spoken before. I've spoken before. And let me preface this: I'm not defending what he said. I don't agree with what he said. But while some find it offensive, some don't. It's kind of like every other offensive topic, right? But you ask yourself, who is the audience, and you try to tailor your message to an audience, don't you? Like if you're speaking to a group of kids,
I don't know what COVID lockdowns have.
No,
to
look,
do with
man,
that.
I'm with you. I think the guy went off the rails a little, if not a lot bit. All right.
He signed up. He's like, "This is my 20-minute Netflix special. Let's go."
By the way, what are commencement speeches? Yeah. You bring in, like, I remember Peter Uberroth was ours. He was the head of the Olympic Committee, LA Olympic Committee, and I don't know what he said, but I mean, you bring
like,
someone
can you
in,
just hand me my diploma, say thank you, and and you can take me to the Sizzler now. Let's go.
Right? I mean, let's just
I think went to Texas Land and Cattle.
Is that where you went?
After high school, and then I'm trying to think what happened. College, I don't know.
I know what we're doing. I know what we're doing for Addie on Saturday.
So I want the pictures, the high fives with the friends, and and then get to dinner.
I mean,
let's go.
Honestly, commencement. We see people all the time at commencement speeches, and you figure you're going to tailor your message. And I'm going to guess when he put his message together, he thought he was going to slam it out of the yard. Right? It was tailored to this audience, but it wasn't. But again, I don't think he. Well, I don't know.
Where's the
he gave you his opinion.
It's almost like the Peyton Manning sound.
Which one?
Sitting here talking about our idiot kicker.
Our idiot kicker. Yeah.
And the Kansas City is like, man, can we just practice, please? Just practice.
All right. Then there's this quarterback who's going to get paid. And what do we keep talking about? $50 million. But I don't play. I don't play for money was his direct quote. But I'm going to take that $54 million check. It's the opening drive. Oh, and he's your quarter. That's your quarterback. That's your quarterback. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Center.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE.
And JJ Bond.
Winners last night, if you're waking up, Mavericks beat the Wolves. Western Conference Finals, NBA, 108-105. Luka Doncic, 33 points. Kyrie Irving, 30 to lead Dallas on the road. They're up 1-0. You get Boston and Indiana game 2 tonight. Hockey last night. Florida Panthers 3, Rangers none. Eastern Conference Final. It'll be the Stars in Edmonton tonight. That is in Texas. Good morning to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We're going through some of the stuff. Harrison Butker said at Benedictine College a week and a half ago now, and how his teammates responded and how the nuns responded. And got a couple. Jack says, what was so controversial about Butker, Jeff? He said he believed in traditional marriage and science is real. A boy is a boy, a girl is a girl, and they are that way long before birth. OMG. So there's a lot of things in there, and I think what people there were a number of things that people were offended by, and look, I tell you this all the time. There's things that you take differently, and other people are not offended by.
When you tell women that they're being lied to,
that this is
about being able to work and have careers, and your highest calling should be homemaker. That's a little different than saying you believe in traditional marriage.
That's where it got controversial. He said the most diabolical lie that you've been told is, and went on that women, go out and be professionals, and their career can take a priority as opposed to being a homemaker. And there are plenty of women who took offense to that. That's all. Is it his place to tell women what their priority should be? Jack, I'm not arguing with any of the stuff you said. It's pieces that we're taken out of this. Rod said Jefferson on Harrison. Jefferson, at least he did this, quote, big letters, on his own time. He didn't try making a statement while on the job like most athletes, including the NFL, have done in the past. And that's kind of where you were going, where it wasn't at a press conference after a game. It wasn't, on the field.
Yeah, but I also think that's a challenge of what you believe in life. When is it big enough to use your platform?
Well, I would guess
because if he did this on company time,
yeah,
I think that first text he might not have minded it. So because it's stuff he believes in.
Oh, 100%. If it's something you agree with, then you back a guy.
That's the whole thing.
No matter where it's being said.
No matter where it's at.
No, that's all the people who believed in what Colin Kaepernick was doing. They didn't care if it was on company time or if it would have been on his own time. They backed him. The people who didn't agree with it. It wouldn't have mattered if he was at a commencement and knelt for the Pledge of Allegiance or national anthem. They don't believe it. No, I agree with you 100%. And the people who believe in what Harrison Butker said have no problem with any of it. And the people who are saying, wait a minute, man, I'm a woman, and who are you to tell me what my priorities should be? And why are you at my commencement telling me that when this should be one of these great moments in my life? And I just worked so hard to get this degree to be able to go out and do these things professionally. And you're just telling me, yeah, but. And I don't think they're wrong. Look, there's some things in there that I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with everything he said in his 20-minute speech, and it doesn't matter if I have a problem or not. I wasn't there, but there are people who do. Do you agree
It's
with
not
this?
necessarily having a problem too. It's just part of it. Then is it's not just sharing your opinion, which you have the right to do, whether it's about this or any other issues you're talking about. Then it's dealing with what comes with that as an athlete, and that's they're going to ask your head coach about it. They're going to ask your quarterback about it. They're going to ask your locker room about it.
So I think that's absolute. You need to know whether you are 100%, and I'm sure Harrison Butker is 100% convicted of what he said. But if you are of the ilk where you have that platform, right? If you are a celebrity status where you are, and look, man, there's going to be plenty of you saying, look, man, it wasn't at UCLA or Michigan or, it was at freaking Benedictine College. Well, I know people who graduated Benedictine College. I know somebody on high up there, right? They love that college. It's a small Catholic college in Kansas, and they love that place. But if you're of the ilk where you are asked to be a commencement speaker, you just need to know that when you say something, there will be response to it. There will be public response. It's like everything else. JJ, when you hit the winning field goal, you talk. You miss the field goal, you talk. And if you're going to do something and say something that is of your opinion in a public forum, we do it every day. Our response comes immediate. It's Jack and it's Rod saying, what did he do? Right? Everything we say, because we put ourselves in a public forum, we're open for criticism. Well, they're on a much bigger stage, and when you have that stage, when you have that platform, and you say something, then you have to know that whatever it is you said will be responded to. And I think he probably knew that, and he's dealing with it now. And his teammates are being asked about it, and his coach is being asked about it, and they're all talking. That's where it is. Look, I don't have a problem. If you agree with everything he said, I don't even have a problem with that. I don't agree with everything he said. I don't disagree with everything he said. He said it in a forum, and it was picked. So, but the nuns came out and said, we don't agree with it. If the key to your message, and I don't even know, JJ, I didn't listen to the whole thing, did you? But if the key to the message was women, you've been told a diabolical lie. Your biggest calling is being a homemaker. And if there's women sitting there going, wait a minute, man, no, it's not. Tell me, what if I don't want kids? Right? There's plenty of women who don't want kids. There's plenty of men who don't want kids. Nothing wrong with that if that's what they want. Now, you may tell me that there's church tellings, and I look, I'm not going to pretend to be versed in it, that say you have to have kids, and there's religions that say, you have to procreate. That's not for me to say. All right, JJ, Dak Prescott doesn't play for money. Quote, Cowboys quarterback, I don't play for money. Never have and never cared, to be honest with you. I would give it up just to play this game. I'll leave that to the business people. Say what it's worth and what they're supposed to give a quarterback of my play, a person of my play, and a leader of my caliber. I'll control what I can control, and the rest will take care of itself. End quote. I don't play for the money, but those guys will tell me how much money I'm supposed to. That's a dangerous quote, man. With all due respect,
dangerous quote in a game that it's all about all the leverage that you can find.
Look, if you don't play for the money,
you don't play for money. What do you think about this veteran minimum deal? We should restructure your contract with.
Why, if you don't play for the money, then why don't you sign a $40 million extension, which is a lot of money?
Drop that number. Help the Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Somebody in your camp is asking for that gigantic number. He counts $55.4 million against the salary cap this season. It's the final year of his deal. He's got a no trade clause. He's got a no tag clause. I didn't realize he had a no tag clause. That I didn't know. So if the Cowboys do not sign Dak Prescott to an extension, and they let him walk in free agency, he will still count for $40.4 million dead money against it. This is where I don't understand the whole cap thing. Is that because they gave him so much money up front?
Probably.
Okay. Prescott he has maintained leverage in this contract. He was tagged twice? I didn't realize And he got a 4-year, $160 million deal in 2020. If you don't play for money, then go in and say, look, man, I don't play for money. Pay me what's fair. Jerry says, well, Dak, you're my quarterback, and we want to be able to spread the money around. What if we give you a whole lot of money and $40 million a year? I mean, $40 million a year for another 4 years gets another $160 million. It's pretty good guts, right?
Listening to Dak say this and seeing him,
yeah,
you can tell he's frustrated about it.
Of course he is, because it's all he's asked about.
But he's got to understand he's a good quarterback in the NFL that doesn't have an extension on one of the most high-profile franchises in sports. That's the only question they're going to ask him. That's what's going to every media availability, whether it's at a charity event, you're wrapping up voluntary OTAs, getting ready for OTAs, whatever it may be. That's going to be the first thing. And how he addresses it, he's got to figure that out. Because saying, I don't play for money is not a quote you want out there when you're trying to get a contract.
Not as a professional who's trying to get paid at the top of the market.
And I think what we've seen play out in this situation is I think Dallas has fumbled the bag. Because there's no way you should have 3 of your cornerstone positions not settled. Like
your
Parsons,
defensive
Lamb,
stud, your wide receiver.
Like one of those guys should be done so you can figure out, all right, what path do we need to take moving forward? Does it make sense to extend Dak Prescott when you're trying to lock in these pieces? To be here and not have any of these things done,
I agree,
just continues to hurt the Cowboys. Because if they want to take a step back and say, you know what, we're going to eat it, and Dak, you can go out and play this year, and if you win playoff games, we'll then address it. If not, we're moving on. I could see that. But to have 3 of these guys hanging out there in the wind is not good for the franchise.
Does this swing public opinion now and leverage? You say all the leverage is with Dak. And in large respect it is, because he's the commodity. And if they don't sign him, he can say fine, and he can bet on himself, and he can walk. And Seattle or somebody else will go pay him the $50 million next year. But by saying, I don't play for the money, and if the Cowboys come out and say, well, we've offered Dak a 4-year, $160 million extension, which is good money. I understand it's not top of the market, but we need to get CD signed, and we need to get Michael Parsons signed, and there's only so much to go around. And for a guy who don't play for money, $40 million a year on top, so another 160 on top of the 160 he just made. And I mean, I don't know if $320 million is enough to live on, but does he lose the public opinion then because of what he just said? I don't play for money.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be easy for people to say, oh, then take a cheaper deal. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, it's just such a dangerous thing for his perception. He's going to get paid, dude. And so you go back and go to his agent today and say, Jackson, don't play for money. Here's a bunch of it. Here's 40 a year. We'll guarantee 110 of it, and let's get this done. If he doesn't play for money, well, I know. No, we play for money, Jerry. No, we. I don't know. Your guy just said, who's the boss? You work for him, or does he work for you? But I'm just going to let the business people take care of that. Let a quarterback of my play. You're a middle of the road. With all due respect, you're a good quarterback. But again, we rank it, man. He's not top 10. He's not. Every one of you could rattle off 10 guys you'll take before him. Every one of you will. It's not hard. And then you're going to start right around that 12 to 15 mark. Well, where does he fit in with Kyler Murray and
but
Caleb
12 to
Williams?
15 still get you paid.
It should.
So
isn't $40 million paid?
Not when you're
a year
quarterback these days.
A year? A year?
No.
But he didn't play for money, dude. Mm-hmm. He doesn't play for money. I think it's dangerous. 505-246-06. Cowboy fan. Your quarterback doesn't play for money, but he wants a whole boatload of bags. International Protective Service will protect your boatload of bags. They continue to do amazing things. They heard all of you when you asked for service up in Santa Fe and protect homes and businesses there, and you're getting a lot of calls coming in for service in Santa Fe. So if you live in that area and you're concerned about threats to your property, call IPS. In Albuquerque, police response still remains hours, especially for home or business break-ins. In most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. They install alarms and camera systems. They monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home and business. And I know you've noticed IPS officers around town at Walmarts and Targets. They're making a difference for those stores. They can help you too. They help me. When I go out of town, they come by a number of times a day. When I'm in town, they're by every single day. They pick up packages that are left on my curb. They do exterior checks. When we have an issue, and we've had a few, they make sure everything's okay. Look, your home's supposed to be a place of security. If someone breaks in, it is devastating to that sense of security, and you don't know when it's going to happen. Let IPS keep their eyes on your home and your business around the clock. Their number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a...
I don't do this for the money. All right, maybe I do. I do it for the $40 million a year. You know, I get $40 million a year, and every time we win another award,
I can honestly say I don't do this for you.
I think either one of us do, man. But I think it's a crazy thing. Give me the last athlete who said I don't do this for the money. What else? He said I would do it. I would give it up just to play this game, but yet I'm going to hold out and make sure I get north of $50 million a year. It's just like Dak's a decent dude. It feels like, and I know he's tired of it, and I know he's sick of talking about his contract. I would be too. Man. I would be tired of talking about what I make and what my money. Like for most of us, it's none of y'all's business, right? But for athletes, and we talk about this all the time, it's a different world that we know what all these guys make. They don't know what you make. I don't know what you don't know what I make or Bob Clark makes or TJ makes or right. But when you're and people don't know what you make because you're sitting in your car. Nobody needs to know your business. But as athletes, we know their business and they're valued thusly. And it's kind of this, you put them on a level because of that. And I would be tired if I'm Dak too. I'm tired. I don't want to stop. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to get it done. Well, then get it done. But to come out in your responses, man, I don't play the game for money. I don't play for money. Never have, never cared, to be honest with you. That's not honest. I'd give it up just to play this game. That's his quote. Nobody made that up. That came out of his mouth. How do you reel that back in?
You don't. It's out there. It's not going away.
So Dak doesn't play for the big sack of cash.
Yeah, in the court of public opinion, it's going to be easy, too, for people to say, go take that cheap deal then, Dak. Take a team-friendly contract so everyone else can get paid.
Tom Brady did. I mean, I don't know, cheap-friendly. If you take $40 million a year, I don't know, can you live on that? Can you take a vacation, send your kid to private school? I mean, you can, right? It's going to be a hard one for him to live down, but we'll see, and he'll end up getting paid. All right, there's a bunch of other quarterback stuff going on. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson's come back from last year's right shoulder injury. Evidently, JJ, they're going in the right direction there. This is another really fascinating one. This is a Browns team that got to the playoffs, that won that didn't win the division, but got into the playoff wildcard team. Kevin Stefanski's their coach. Quote, he looked like himself to me. I've been able to watch him the last couple of weeks in phase 2, so I've seen him throw. He's making great progress. We'll continue to just follow the medical team on this, but he looked like himself. Is there a more, I'm trying to find the word, benign quarterback situation, right? Everybody else, you're either excited about it or you know you've got a competition or you know they need to make a move. Like every other quarterback situation in the NFL. All right, the Broncos. Well, they got the rookie, and let's see what Bo Nix is about. I'm kind of excited to see. Oh, the Chargers have Herbert. Okay, now that Harbaugh's with him. Oh, the Steelers have the competition. All right, well, the Packers are set, and the Niners are set, and the Rams are set. And then there's this, right? There's this benign situation. Yeah, they're set because their hands are tied and because they maybe offered the worst contract in the history of the National Football League, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. And yeah, he's good, but he's their quarterback for a few years because he's got to be, and he's not horrible where you just say, all right, I'm going to eat the money, but he's not healthy, and does anybody like the guy? And is, by the way, is he really that good? It is the most bizarre, right? Are all those things true?
It's very true. Because you have a polarizing quarterback that hasn't been on the field due to injury, that hasn't been able to play. And when you play good, people like to forget about the bad things you've done. He hasn't been able to do that, to move forward. And it's a quarterback that at one point in time was at the top of the game, and now you're left wondering, just with the injuries, time not playing football, can he even be one of those top 15 quarterbacks?
JJ, he's a quarterback who's got the most guaranteed money of any player in the history of the National Football League, correct?
That's correct.
And if you name your top 15 quarterbacks, he doesn't come to mind. He's got you struggle top 20 out of 32. I'm not even sure he makes your list. Now, he could be a top 10 guy for all we know this year. And when he signed that deal, he was on the verge of being a top guy. When you name your top 15 quarterbacks, he doesn't come to mind. You want him or Dak Prescott? I'm taking Dak Prescott. How about that? And there's, right?
Yeah.
Him or Kirk Cousins? You're taking Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
How many situations right now you would take him maybe over what New England's got?
Well, New England's in the boat of...
They got a brand new guy.
Having Drake May.
Right. You might take him over who Tennessee's got. You probably take him.
I wouldn't take him over Will Levis. I want to see.
I want to see Will Levis too. Would you take him over Bo Nix? Do you want what you got in Denver? All right. Raiders. Gardner Minshew and. All right, you might.
Yes.
All right, so I got two spots you might go. Seattle.
Geno Smith available, man.
So you take Geno.
Yep.
New Orleans, I take Derek Carr. Carolina, you got to give Bryce Young another year. I take that situation. Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings are set. Commanders have got a new guy. I mean, who would say? Are there 3 teams in the league right now that would say, yeah, I'd take him over what I got? And yet he's got the biggest guaranteed contract in the history of the National Football. That may end up like if he's got to. There's your guy. We've talked about which quarterback is in the show me year. If he's that guy again, do they have to start considering eating the contract and moving on and finding a quarterback to help them win?
Yes, they do.
Right? It may end up being the worst contract in the history of sports. And by the way, what they gave up to get him, right?
Yes.
I want to Sean Watson trade. They gave up 6 picks, 3 first rounders. The final, a 4th rounder. I mean, holy smokes. And then paid him $250 million guaranteed. This could end up being the worst deal in the history of sports. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, where we are. All right, Colts quarterback isn't going to change. Anthony Richardson, another show-me guy. What do you think about him and what they think about him as the quarterbacks are kind of playing front and center this week at the OTAs? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
And an ESPN Bet are reporting the Cleveland Cavaliers have dismissed head coach J.B. Bickerstaff. I, for the life of me, don't get it. I mean, this is a guy that felt like he was doing a hell of a job and had that thing pointed in the right direction, didn't it? But he's out. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. We've been talking about Dak. Dak Prescott said, I don't play for money. Never have, never cared, to be honest with you. You're on the text line responding to that. Remember the 13% rule. Dak's hit against the cap completely rules the Cowboys out of the Super Bowl picture. It's for Mike. The 13% rule, I think one time as a quarterback made more than 13% of the salary cap, and that team wins the Super Bowl. This one says, let Dak go. You can then be a millstone around another team's neck. Who cares what comes after? Because it ain't costing you $50 million. It's a bad guy. Again, could be good dude, bad luck, but and I get it. JJ, wouldn't it kill you if you had to talk about your financial? I mean, all the time, just people want to know, but leave me alone. And I get you and I are different.
Patrick Mahomes,
yeah,
Joe Burrow,
yeah,
Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. All those guys will not win a Super Bowl.
According to that rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said Mahomes is the only one who did, right? There was one person who did. Yeah, that's what that guy said. Well, I mean, give me that list again. I'll tell you how many.
So, yeah, Mahomes has won one. So
he's the only one,
the
right?
Exception to
he's the only one on that list who's won one whilst making more than 13%. Rodgers won one, but not when he was making that more than 13%. Is there anybody else on that list who's won a Super Bowl?
Well, he's right. But so what we're saying now is
Yeah.
Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and
Aaron Rodgers. And only two
Matt
guys on that list
Stafford.
have won a Super Bowl. Well, Stafford did when he wasn't making that much, I think. Maybe he was. Maybe Stafford was. Mahomes and maybe Stafford. But Rodgers sure as hell wasn't when he won a Super Bowl 100 years ago. And nobody else on that list has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they haven't. But I'm saying those guys won't win. So we don't
According
need to talk about
according to that rule. Yeah. According to what he's telling. Yeah, that's what he's telling me. Now, when we sit here in a year from now, one of them won, you could say, okay, break your rule. But yeah, that's exactly what he's telling me. Yeah. I mean,
I'm letting you know the guys you will not bet on to win a Super Bowl this season.
yeah, bet on Brock Purdy. Who makes 900
now
something.
or never for the 49ers.
Kind of. Bet on, well, you can't bet on Jared Goff there. Trevor Lawrence? Who do you bet on? Right now. Can't bet on any of those dudes. Who the hell am I betting on? Jordan Love?
Brock Purdy.
Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa.
Jordan Love, Brock Purdy.
I'm running out of options.
NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I'm running out of options.
Get there. We saw them in the postseason last year before that.
All right.
Will Levis.
Anthony Richardson? I don't know.
You said, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. I think Brock Purdy's the bet. Brock Purdy or Jordan Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love.
Because the AFC is out the window. You know, it's Mahomes, you can do it. He's making money. 22% of the cap. So
22. Yeah, but he's the exception.
Yeah.
All right, Colts quarterback isn't going to change. Anthony Richardson, according to Colts people, barely scratched the surface last year. Well, that's right. He had the concussion. Then he had the shoulder surgery and it ended his season. So he's getting ready for his second season, and he resists this notion, JJ, that he needs to change his playing time. Quote, I don't think there's any way I could have avoided what happened to me. Just a regular routine tackle. I tried to brace myself for the fall. My shoulder just did what it did. There's nothing I could do about it. Changing my game and my play style, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with my play style. They drafted him to be an athlete, right? Anthony Richardson was drafted because of his athleticism and to be a playmaker and athlete. He got hurt. He got concussed, and he got shouldered, and then he got broken. What quarterback that came in like that has been successful after they changed their style in the NFL?
He doesn't need to change his style. He doesn't. Right? The highest ceiling comp for Anthony Richardson is Josh Allen.
I think that's fair.
Like, can he follow that career arc where you rein in your passing, become a more accurate passer at the next level? Because that is one of the most difficult things to do. If you don't have it, it's hard to get it.
So there's a difference between reining it in, refining it, and changing it. Because I think you're right. Josh Allen is still one of the most mobile quarterbacks out there, and he's often their leading rusher, correct? With Buffalo? He didn't stop running. You got to learn how to do it in the NFL as opposed to college football, because dudes are going to take your head off. Josh Allen became a better passer, a percentage-wise better passer, accurate, better passer. He was a guy with a big, giant arm, and they made him better. I agree with you on the comp. That's the comp. Anthony Richardson doesn't have to stop getting out of the pocket. He's got to, A, protect himself, but B, he's got to become a better passer. But that was the thing. If you go back to last year's draft, he was the most raw of the quarterbacks coming in, right? People said he is the guy who's probably the least ready of the top three quarterbacks that were going in last year. And they threw him in. He got concussed and he got broken. I don't think you need to change his style. I think you need to refine him a little bit. A, make him understand he can't take those hits. And to your point, he's got to become a better, more accurate thrower. Josh Allen's a great comp. But you need to change who that guy is. All right, we're going to take this break. When we come back, you got the sound, LeBron James talking, defending Caitlin Clark. I thought it was really good what he said about Caitlin Clark. And then he went a lot of places. He was on his podcast with JJ Redick and got into Caitlin Clark and him and Bronny and all meshed into one comment and said some really good things and some things that make you, or at least made me scratch my head a little bit. LeBron James on why he understands Caitlin Clark and some really good things next on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
They play for money. What college athletes said. Did you see the college athletics is changing in a big way? We'll get there later. $2.8 billion revenue sharing. I mean, college athletics is going into revenue sharing. And capital, it's crazy. Opening drive, Jeff Samieta, J.J. Buck. All right, Caitlin Clark's, we talked a little bit earlier about her 0-5 start, and I think what she's doing is phenomenal. And LeBron James was on his podcast with J.J. Redick. You've got this bleeped, right? He talked about Caitlin Clark, and I appreciate what he had to say initially about Caitlin Clark and what she's going through and the haters. And look, they're 0-5. I gave you numbers earlier. What she's doing is historically really, really good as a rookie in the WNBA. But a lot of people just don't know about the league and how good the talent is. This is LeBron James, I believe yesterday, on his podcast with J.J. Redick, talking about Caitlin Clark and where he goes with this.
The one thing.
All right. There's a lot in there I agree with. And I appreciate him giving her the due because his voice carries a lot of weight. And recognizing what she's doing. But I don't know, was he in that seat? When he came in, he was a highly touted rookie. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but he wasn't the face of the league when he came in, was he? Like, would you agree right now she's the face of the WNBA? Playing 5 games. Before she played a game, was she the face of the WNBA? To most people. The people who are not Las Vegas Aces fans. She was, right? I mean, he wasn't. He has been for the last 2 decades, but not when he came in. There was Magic and Bird and Jordan and who's behind him. She is on the precipice of launching this league to new heights. But what does Bronny have to do with it? And I don't even disagree with what he said about his son, that his son's dealing with hatred. But I don't know. It was all over the place. I agree with so much of what he said about it. When you heard that, what did you hear?
I liked what I heard from LeBron James. Right there, just being honest. You know, he's someone that lived that.
Kind of.
The hype. No, not kind of. He lived that.
He lived the hype. He didn't live her hype. He didn't.
He lived, yes, he did.
He lived hype. He didn't live her. I disagree.
We weren't watching high school basketball games at that clip until LeBron's team was playing.
Okay.
On ESPN.
He lived a lot of hype. I don't think he lived
when he
hype, but all right.
Sports Illustrated, like, yes.
Okay.
He's one of the most hyped #1 picks ever in the NBA.
I agree with that too. I don't believe it was this hype.
Now,
but we'll disagree.
The shoulder. Now, the league was established when he came in, which is different.
Yep.
And so that's the pressure that's on Caitlin Clark to make the WNBA more than it is.
Okay. Yeah, if anybody can somewhat commiserate and understand, I guess it would be him. I don't believe he lived that hype. He lived hype. He lived gigantic hype. He didn't live where all of a sudden the league was elevating that they were moving into bigger arenas because they couldn't handle the crowds in those small arenas, so they're playing games in bigger arenas because LeBron was there. They didn't change the television schedule and put 30 or 36 games on network TV because he was there. But he lived the hype. I want to go back. I appreciate what he said. And I think his perspective hopefully will back some people off. Because what she's doing is pretty amazing. Jeff, she's 0-5. No, the Fever 0-5. I said this earlier. You didn't know what the hell an Indiana Fever was. The Fever 0-5. They were a bad team. That's why they got her. All NBA teams are out. Who got snubbed? Who's in? And there's a coaching change in the NBA this morning. A playoff team fired their coach. Opening drive, Jeff and JJ on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Black and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Mavericks beat the Wolves last night, 108-105. First game of Western Conference Final of the National Basketball Association. Luka Doncic, 33 points. Kyrie Irving, 30, 63 of the Mavs. 108. It's 1-0 in favor of Dallas in the West. Anthony Edwards had 19. Jaden McDaniels 24. In a losing effort for the Wolves, they'll play game 2 tomorrow night in Minneapolis. Tonight, you get the Celtics and Pacers, game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston is up 1-0. Hockey last night, winner, Florida Panthers. 3-0. They beat the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden, 1-0 there. Fever almost got their first win, the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Seattle, the Storm, beat the Fever 85-83, so Indiana is 0-5. And this morning, the Cavaliers fired J.B. Bickerstaff, their head coach. They made a run to the Eastern Conference semifinals. It was, if I'm not mistaken, their first playoff run since LeBron James left. And they fired their coach. This is one where, dude, I just don't get the NBA in coaching. The Adrian Griffin thing when the Bucks fired their coach and they were like 33-11 or whatever they were. That wasn't good enough. This guy isn't good enough. Who they think's going to Cleveland? Who they getting to go? Like, is that where James Borrego's going to go when he doesn't get the Lakers job? Or who they get? That happened this morning. You're in on the email, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Got a few this morning. Dan wants to know this. It's JJ. It says, Jeffrey, does JJ get to grub the dinner at the awards from both the co-host and the producer chair, or did Daniel Conrad work enough innings to qualify for the win? So yesterday we found out the opening drive was honored by the New Mexico Broadcast Association as best sports show for last year. I believe that to be 8 out of the last 9 years. So congratulations to you. I don't know. Does DC get to go to that? And he was here most of the year, right?
Yeah, he was.
All right. Or do you get double duty on this?
2 plates.
You might get to eat mine. I'm not sure. I might be out of town for that. You got my drink tickets, too. Do we get drink tickets? Oh, we don't for that. Do we? 2 plates. All right. Dan, I'm not sure. I think DC's in on that. Silver lining for Albuquerque's AAA baseball franchise. Isotopes lost yesterday. Gene says they can rest their key players. Pedro Lopez can develop his bench, all in hopes of getting off to a fast second half start. See, there's your silver lining. But they keep having press conferences and great things coming, and pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Never mind the baseball. There's all this other stuff going on. HB says Caitlin Clark equals El Tigre? ? Jeff, if El Tigre continues to struggle, how long are you going to have OD callers on Thursday mornings asking for score updates? As the Indiana Fever losses continue to pile up, if they're hard to watch, how long before the interest wanes? There was never any interest in the Indiana Fever anyway, and so you've got a little interest in the Fever because of Caitlin Clark. They're going to lose this season because they're not very good. So I'm going to guess as long as Tiger's in the majors, and it sounds like he's going to be there for a while, on Thursdays and Fridays, y'all are going to ask me how Tiger's doing in the morning, right? 1 under, 2 over, whatever. Yeah, do you think I'm stretching it to say, and again, I'm not claiming that she is the player that Tiger is or ever will be. What I'm saying is the impact that she has made on her sport is analogous to what Tiger made on golf. How many new viewers did Tiger bring to golf? That's what I'm saying. I don't even know that I think there's another comparison. Is it Wayne Gretzky? And this is probably before your time, but when Wayne Gretzky went to the Kings and what it did for hockey in America and certainly in Southern California. I don't know. You got another one for me?
It's that style where it's crossing over, it's bringing attention, it's bringing a lot of new eyes to the product, and that's what you're talking about. In this case, people are watching games that they were not watching before.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Impact. I'm not saying competitively equivalent. I'm saying impact-wise. That's what it is. All right. I got your NBA first team All NBA. Two unanimous selections, NBA first team, all league, or all NBA. And these guys get bonused on this now, right? Or they get put into a structure. If you get voted all NBA, then your super max dollars, these are guys who do play for money, not like Dak Prescott. So your super max money ups, is that correct?
You can earn a larger contract, yes.
If you are all NBA. First, second, or third team, right? I think it's tiered. Okay. First team, unanimous. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City. Nikola Jokic. They were in first place votes from all 99 voters. Rest of the first team, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jason Tatum. So who was left off? Would you have gone Tatum or Brunson this year? Because it feels like Brunson's the guy that people are saying, how could you have left him off? Jalen Brunson was terrific. Which way would you have voted? So Brunson will be second team. But he was left off of the first team. Your second team, Jalen Brunson, 37 first team votes, the sixth most amongst all players. He's joined by Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant. How the hell is Kawhi Leonard on this? And Anthony Davis. You know I love me some Kawhi Leonard. How does he make second team All-NBA this year? As injured as he has been.
Not sure.
All right. I don't know. Third team. LeBron James, Stephen Curry, DeMontis Sabonis, Tyrese Halliburton, and Devin Booker. Who's not on there? There's no Joel Embiid. Probably right. He didn't play enough games. No Victor Wembanyama. Zion Williamson. De'Aaron Fox. Pretty good players out there still. You good with the All-NBA stuff? LeBron, Steph, third team? Seems about right, doesn't it? Steph was really good this year, too. The one that just blows my mind is Kawhi, second team. I love me some Kawhi Leonard. But I don't know how he was second team this year.
68 games, a lot for Kawhi.
Well, he
passes the threshold.
Just right over the threshold. And he's good when he played. All right. Don, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, fellas. First, I wanted to ask JJ if he thinks Luka can hold up through a 7-game series. What do you think, JJ?
I did, yeah. He's made it through to this point in time.
Yeah. Just wondering if the wear and tear will build up as the series goes on. But we'll see. They played great last night. Haven't seen Kyrie play that good in a long time. Yeah, but
he's been really good.
Kyrie, and when it counts, I think he's going to show up. So Dallas will take it. But I wanted to talk with you, Jeff, about our favorite basketball player, LeBron James. He's absolutely right in what he said about Caitlin Clark and the league. And I think you and I have been talking about this. The league better hope that she succeeds. I don't know that she'll succeed greatly with the Fever because the team is not really good. And but if you look at the attendance stats, I mean, everywhere she plays, she's drawn 17,000, 18,000. And you look at the other games, 3,000 to about 10,000, and it's more so on the 3,000 side in attendance. So the WNBA needs to promote, and the rest of the league needs to get on board. The issue I have with LeBron is that every issue or every discussion he has always has to steer back towards LeBron and Bronny or whatever, but it always has to be about him. And he's the epitome of a narcissist. He's a great basketball player, but sometimes it just gets on my nerves. Thanks, Jeff. Have a great day. JJ, you as well.
All right, Don. See you. It's not an uncommon sentiment. It's not. I think. Let me back this up a bit. That was his forum, right? I mean, that when you have a podcast, it's like if you want to hear what I have to say, come listen to me, and if you don't. right? I mean, on a podcast, say what you need to say. I don't have a problem with him saying whatever he says. Like, you can take offense with it. You can love what he says. You can disagree. That's what any one of us who opens up a microphone, that comes with it. And so this isn't him in a locker room afterwards. It's his opinion. I don't understand how LeBron James Jr. or Bronny James factors into the Caitlin Clark's conversation, other than, and I will give him this correlation. There is, I don't know, I guess hate. Do you feel hate towards Bronny? Because I don't. If someone says Bronny James is not an NBA player, is that hate? If they say he's a guy who scored 4 points,
I don't think there's hate. I think there's going to be where in Bronny, whether LeBron James said anything about him playing in the NBA or not, would have to understand that there's a different level of scrutiny when you're LeBron James' son.
Yeah.
That's going to come regardless of if LeBron said anything or not.
Yeah. And look, when you're a parent, you are super protective of your kid. And while I don't believe that there's a real correlation, if you're talking to me about Caitlin Clark and what she's going through, is there a natural segue into, well, she's getting hate and so is my son? Sure. If that's your mindset, I'm not offended by any of that. I don't necessarily understand. I think what LeBron James went through, what Caitlin Clark is going through, and what Bronny's going through are 3 different things. Bronny James, to me, JJ, seems like a really likable young man. Like, tell me the negative on Bronny. Is it that he wasn't a standout at USC, that he didn't put up numbers, that he came off the bench, and that he was a role player who had an unfortunate heart incident and put up incredibly pedestrian numbers and didn't stand out as an NBA prospect? And I guess the knock is, if his name wasn't Bronny James, if it was Billy Buck, he wouldn't be in the NBA or be on the NBA radar, right?
Yes, there's an element to that.
Okay. Is his kid getting hated on? I don't see a lot of hate towards Bronny. That's all I'm saying. I see.
You can. Here's the thing: when you are that level,
and your dad
of person, you can find hate by just
and you're
looking at a
sensitive.
comment.
Yeah, and you're overly sensitive. I think that's fair. If you question someone, is that hate? And I guess that's JJ's point. I guess that's, you can interpret that as such, right? If you say, no, dude, he's not an NBA guy. Like, how can you take him in the first round? Look at, he's undersized at 6'1". That's what he weighed in at or measured at. And is that hate? I guess if you're dad and that's what you're hearing, you can interpret it thusly. Aaron, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hey, yeah, there's negatives about being Bronny James, but there's also positives. I mean, do you think he's one of the highest NLI guys, making $5-6 million if he's not LeBron James' son, 6th man off the bench at USC? I mean, are we even talking about him if he's not LeBron James' son?
No.
So, I mean, I understand that there's pressure on him, but you've got to take the good with the bad, the up with the down. I think, if you gave him the choice, I don't think he would choose anything different. So, I mean, I think you have to look at the positives as well.
Can't agree with you more, Aaron. Thank you. Yeah, there's positives. 100% there's positives. That's why he's in the position he's in. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Keep it coming. What do you think of what LeBron said? I think what he said is right. I just don't know that they all correlate into the same concept. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions.
Clifford. People love Nick Clifford. He says, I'm buying him long term. They had a mixed week. Jackson Robinson at BYU. And then he's got a column or a section that says players on the fence with tough decisions. There's 4 players there, including J.T. Toppin. Have you read this yet? So tell me what you think of what he says about J.T. Toppin. He said, one thing was very clear in Chicago last week. A lot of schools missed on Toppin somehow. He had a stellar freshman season at New Mexico, looked like a future first-rounder during scrimmages, a very, very good player who might not have the buzz to be a top 30 pick, but now has the tools to be one in the future. Another year in college could launch him into a household name status. You agree with that?
I do, and that's why I think it's going to be a very tough decision in the next 6 days for JT. Is the time to jump now in what everyone is saying is a weaker draft. So would that move you up the draft board, at least get you closer to a guaranteed spot in the first round? Now, yeah, it's easy.
First round or guaranteed contracts.
To say, go back and do what you did to lock that in. But, when you're this close, it's going to be interesting to see what direction he ultimately decides. But it also comes down to the voices around him and how much are they pushing him to, because they already have an idea of what deals are out there when it comes to NIL and who's interested in acquiring his services. And it's a really tough decision. And I think the NBA Combine did do a lot of positive things for JT Toppin.
So would, and this is speculation, we may learn this. Let's just say he goes to the Big 12 or Texas, the SEC. Say he goes to the SEC. It's a bigger stage. Remember, that's what he said. He wants a bigger stage. Does he shine on that stage more to become a prospect, or let's just say he's up for Player of the Year in the Mountain West Conference, and he puts up those numbers in the Mountain West Conference? He's on TV every night still. Different TV, different channel, different network. You got to flip over a little bit. But I think people who want to find college basketball know how to find college basketball, right? They find JT Toppin. To shine more playing like he did and progressing like he did at New Mexico, or being another one of those good big guys in the Big 12 or in the SEC? Right?
This one, this is a conversation that A doesn't automatically equal B, because there's Player of the Year players from these conferences, but that doesn't always equal
100%
lottery pick when it comes to your potential, what NBA teams are seeing from you. Of course, it's going to elevate your status if you go perform like that in a bigger league and have that bigger stage. But to me, it comes down to kind of what role can JT Toppin solidify himself in. And I think that's the biggest question to answer, is he's caught in between what is his role at the next level going to be. Is it on the wing, or does he need to focus about just showing that athleticism in the post, showing he can defend bigger guys, but also have the athleticism that on switches to survive? And I think that's going to be the path for JT Toppin, is can you become a stretch 4 that shows you can hang with the bigger guys, because I don't think the wing position is for him. So that's whether he says, hey, I need to come back, focus on that in college, or NBA teams believe enough to give him that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to figure out, and his camp's got to figure that out over the next 6 days, right? When's the deadline?
29th.
Today's 23. Yeah. And as of now, he's still in. So we'll watch. But it was an interesting read from somebody who's been watching this. Gopher says LeBron James Jr., Jeff, being LBJ's kid, might get him his first NBA contract. But after that, it's all going to be about whether he can play. Teams aren't going to keep him around for years just to try to lure the old man. That's right. No, you're right. Might get him it now. It's like, Daddy can get you into Harvard, but can Daddy keep you from Harvard? Yes. Does he may have a faster path than if he wasn't LeBron's kid? Yeah, maybe. But at some point, Daddy's going to be done playing, and he's going to have to do it himself. And there are plenty of people, by the way, who believe he can play at the NBA level. There are plenty of people who look at him as a prospect and say he's going to be a good NBA player. His IQ, his upside, all the things he can do. There are plenty of people who think that. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening?
First of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to congratulate your daughter on graduating from the academy and becoming one of the leaders in best at Michigan next fall.
Thank you. Thank you. It'll be a good weekend. Thank you.
Awesome work, man. Awesome work. You've raised quite a daughter, and I'm very proud of her and welcome her to the Michigan family.
Yeah, no, we're really excited about what's coming. I'm proud of her, and it'll be a fun weekend. I've got family in town started already, and it's going to be fun. Thanks.
Well, in 2025, I'll be hosting a New Mexico tailgate party out there, so it's going to be something else.
Lobos playing in Ann Arbor?
Looking forward to that.
In 2025?
Lobos kick off the season August 30th, 2025 in Ann Arbor, Michigan against Mighty Michigan.
Can I make because what I'm learning is it's hard to get a hotel in Ann Arbor. I've learned that much. Can I make my room now?
I don't know if they do that far in advance, but you can try. Every year it's the mad scramble, and we were going to get a B&B one time or an Airbnb, and those are even harder to jockey. And really what a lot of people have done, alumni have done there, is they bought an old house and they cleared out the basement and they turned it into their place to stay, and they rent out the top 2 floors to students. And they make bank. We were going to do that years ago, and it just never came together. But the other thing I wanted to mention real quick is good luck to the baseball team. 6 Lobos on the 25-year team. That has Ray Birmingham written all over it.
Well, Lobo baseball today, first round of the conference tournament, they play San Jose State.
Yep. We've had, 3 good coaches in a row. Alday, Birmingham, and now Todd Brown. Looks like he's got it rolling a little bit. Let's see what they can do against the defending conference tournament champion, San Jose State, today at 2:30. But wish them all the luck in the world. If they can get those bats hot, I think they have as good a chance as anybody to take that thing.
Yeah, big day today. All right, man. No, so I didn't know that. I got to make my plans for New Mexico, Michigan. What do you wear when New Mexico plays Michigan?
I think I'm going to have a T-shirt made, and it's going to be New Michigan. It's going to be red on one side and blue on the other, and it's going to say
Lobo Reen?
Yeah, New Michigan.
New Michigan Lobo Reens?
Yeah.
Lobo?
Come up with something. Or maybe I'll wear New Mexico stuff the first half and switch to Michigan the second. I don't know.
Yeah, you better be that way. I would suggest that order, in fact, too. Yes.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
All right, man.
Appreciate the time, guys. Thanks.
A big weekend at our place. Families in town, a little graduation. Kind of crazy, man. You watch my little girl grow up, and she's a woman going off to college and graduating college or high school this weekend. It's kind of crazy. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming when we come back with a little more NFL stuff. The Panthers like what they see in their quarterback. Okay. They'll give you a reason why you should, too. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Telling it like it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2433. 820 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm...
Barnes in on Bernie Top. Where's he get Bernie? Who's Bernie Topping? He calls JT Topping. When it's the weakest field in years, now is the time to strike, whether it's the Mountain West Conference Tournament or the NBA Draft. I'll give you on the NBA Draft. It was hardly the weakest field ever at the Mountain West Conference. In fact, I think that's him trying to belittle the Lobos winning the conference championship. I would argue it was the strongest field in decades, or at least a decade. When was the Mountain West better than it was this year in the last 10 years? It hadn't been. Got 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. But all right. Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right, here's what I got for you in the NFL. They're open for camps, JJ. We've been talking about quarterbacks. Just so you know, Dak Prescott doesn't play for money. I don't play for money, never have cared about it, to be honest with you. Okay. But I want my $54 million. What's your new your fantasy football team name?
Least Lamborghini.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I don't play for money. Might be money. Never have. Never cared, to be honest with you. Oh, okay. I'd give it up to play this game, says Dad. Bryce Young's the quarterback of the Panthers. Quote, he's a great quarterback, end quote. It's wide receiver Deontay Johnson. He's smart, accurate, knows how to get guys in position. Whenever we're out there, you can always count on him to get us in the right spot and make everyone know what they're doing. Tommy Tremble's their tight end. Said that Young is noticeably more confident than he was last year. He's throwing the ball with confidence. He's not worried about 1,000 things like last year, so you can see
that swag. It's exciting, man. You buy into it, or is this Al Davis?
He's a great player. Get over it.
He's a great player. DeMarcus Russell is a great player. Get over it. That's what Lane Kiffin got fired with. I'm sorry, dude.
This is the offseason of just stay positive, build. The last thing you need is the players to start throwing darts out there when everyone knows the challenges that Bryce Young has to overcome, being his size in an offense that just is really struggling for playmakers. You just need to preach positivity. Like, this is one where it's like, play the game, talk the game. This is what the Panthers need this offseason. They don't need some, I mean,
he's all right.
The wide receiver came out and was like, man, this dude's trash. Like, sometimes you just need to play the game, and that's what they're doing.
If you're, yeah, I think that's right. Because they are the only team that's not on national TV on a standalone game. They're the prohibitive worst team in the game right now, aren't they? They're everybody's choice for first pick again next year. Which means they won't get it, don't get me wrong, because the early season favorite never wins that. But, pardon me if I hear a little Al Davis in there. DeMarcus Russell is a great player. Get over it. I was having a conversation down in the coffee room with K-Dog, big Niners fan. Are they going to pay? Are they going to pay Brock? Yeah, they're going to pay Brock. Brock Purdy will make $35 million, $40 million. It's going to feel like a zillion after he's making under $1 million this year. But who do you pay for the Niners? 49ers receiver Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings, both not present for the team's organized activities. Ayuk was expected. He's looking for a contract extension. Evidently, they're not close, according to NFL media. Second team All-Pro, led him with 75 receptions, 15 touchdowns. Debo's signed through 2027 and can opt out after the season. How much do you pay Ayuk, dude? They went out and drafted a receiver with their very first pick.
They did. First round selection.
I don't think they're going to pay him what he wants. I just, he's not Justin. He's good. He's not Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. And I think he's probably thinking he's up for some sort of that kind of money. They went out and if they got Debo and Kittle and a first round receiver, with all due respect, Brandon Ayuk's good. He's replaceable.
And they're kind of preparing for that. And Brandon Ayuk was a guy that I would pay and keep around.
Well, how much pay? I mean, I'd like.
He's had 7th most receiving yards, so he's going to have a top 10, 15 contract in the NFL. Like, Brock Purdy will be good if he has playmakers. And to start taking that away, then you're going to lose the oomph of that offense. And the challenge is you can really only pay one of those guys. And having paid Debo Samuel, I think he's the one that I'd be looking to move on from.
Brandon Ayuk is.
No, Debo Samuel. And you move forward the next few years with Brandon Ayuk.
And Ricky Pearsall.
Get the last out of Christian McCaffrey. Your first round pick, Ricky Pearsall, as he develops. Because I think after this year, really, the potential release of Debo Samuel comes up.
Just because of money.
Yeah. You're not really in the NFL right now. You can invest in one top tier dude on the outside.
I mean, that's Tyler Boyd's deal, right? That's why he's not with Cincinnati, right?
Yeah. Well, he's not there because there's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins ahead of him.
I mean, there's only so many guys you can pay.
So, and if I'm the 49ers and I'm looking at, all right, the future does involve Brock Purdy getting paid. And if you try to develop this first round wide receiver, late first round pick, just like Brandon Ayuk was, what decisions are you making? I'm moving forward with Ayuk and company over Debo Samuel. I like the traditional wide receiver on the outside versus what they've gotten out of Debo.
Debo's been special, though. It's been so different. I don't know how long that lasts. I agree with you. I think that's where it's going to go. So, knowing that you're going to have to pay your quarterback after this year, how much can you give Ayuk? Do you think top 15? I listen to top 15. He's not a top 5 guy.
20 to 25 million per year.
It's good living. All right. And then Ricky Pearsall will be on his rookie deal. Jawan Jennings is holding out too. Who's Jawan Jennings to hold out? With all due respect, who the hell is he to hold out? They give me salaries, so they don't. The NBA thing gives me salaries, and I love that. It doesn't tell me how much these guys are making here in my NFL roster. All right, when we come back, wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through a busy Thursday. Big news this morning. We'll get you all caught up in what people will be talking about on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out.
she'd been drinking. This one, both of them, gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
3 points. Kyrie Irving had 30 points for the winners. Tonight, Celtics, Pacers, Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals. They will be talking about New Mexico United, I believe, at least United people will. Quarterfinal round of the U.S. Open Cup. They will play another MLS team. They will go to Los Angeles, JJ, and play LAFC on July 10th. That's the week of the quarters. Isotopes Park was being used by the Isotopes, and so on the road. Is this the point now when you get to the Final 8? Like, will they see LAFC's real team? LAFC beat Loudoun by a score of 3-0 in the round of 16. Or will it be a depleted, like, will they back off? When did the MLS teams who were in it start to take it for serious?
It really depends on the schedule the week leading up to that game for LA.
Okay.
Because for them, they could probably still look at this as an opportunity to rotate their squad.
That's soccer for league management, right? Rotate your squad. I'm kidding, kind of. All right, I'm looking for MLS. I'll find it for you. All right, JB Bickerstaff was let go by the Cleveland Cavaliers today as well. Oh, I wanted to hit this. I always have asked the question, at what point will payrolls get to be out of control? Will it just be too much? And, you know, we always say, oh, there's more money and there's more money, and it goes up every year, and there's money and there's money. Oh, this guy's making $250 million. Oh, he's making $400 million, whatever. Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner warns that there's got to be lower payrolls after this year. He says, quote, it's simply not sustainable for us financially. That's the Yankees, dude. Now, I don't understand necessarily how Steinbrenner's goals are going to affect the long-term pursuit of Juan Soto. But the big question for the Yankees right now is like whether or not they're going to be able to make good on their current World Series aspirations, right? They're good. We'll see. But they've got to decide whether they want to re-sign Juan Soto, either before or after he reaches free agency. And their owner says he's not sure they can. Steinbrenner said, unfortunately, is the word. I got to be honest. Payrolls at the levels we're at right now are simply not sustainable for us financially. It wouldn't be sustainable for the vast majority of ownership groups, given the luxury tax we have to pay. That was his quote. The word sustainable, I don't know if it's the right word here, because it's the Yankees. The Yankees could run higher payrolls and still satisfy sustainability. But, JJ, this is the first owner, and I know I've been saying this for years. At what point do we reach a breaking point? Yankees have a payroll in excess of $300 million. So they're deep in the luxury tax. They'll slough off about $100 million in salary at the end of the season. So it clears the decks that they could re-up Soto. But do you recall another... Not Pirates ownership or Royals, but someone like this who says, dude, I don't know that this is sustainable. That the high salaries we're just getting to a point where I don't know that we can continue to do that.
Well, it's understandable coming from baseball because they don't have a ceiling.
Yeah.
At the very top. Now there's like a pay floor that you need to hit as a franchise. But as long as you're willing to pay the taxes, you can do whatever you want. But the franchises are saying, man, the taxes are what's killing us on these salaries.
And the taxes are there to somewhat
tax.
try to even out the playing field between the Royals and the Yankees.
And so that baseball doesn't have something where you say, oh, man, how are we going to work within the cap limits? And when it comes to player acquisitions and trades and needing to do all this stuff, like that's not there. So those contracts can just keep going up and up and up. And even in the other leagues that have salary caps, there's still ways to get around that, but then you're hit with paying taxes, and that's what hurts the owners more than the player salaries.
But that's how you've got to even the playing field. because when you got a team in New York and a team in Memphis.
But it's not even the playing.
Well, but the intent is it not?
The intent is there, but it's not.
Yeah, I understand. So it's just something to watch. I read that and it was like, holy smokes! I've been kind of wondering when you hit that. This is another thing, and keep this on the radar. I think we all agree the TNT NBA Tonight crew, or is it NBA Tonight? Is that what the name of the show is?
Inside the NBA.
Inside the NBA is as good of a studio show as we've ever seen, right? Barkley, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, Shaq has joined it. They got Draymond on there. It's as good as we love it. And ESPN tries to do their stuff, but TNT's great. Next year could be the final year that we get that. The NBA is reportedly set to make new media rights deals. They're going to go with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. Evidently, it's a combined $7.4 billion per year, since we're talking about salaries. If they go through, then TNT's out in the cold. And Charles Barkley's been talking about it. He was on with Dan Patrick yesterday, I believe is when it was. And he railed against TNT, the higher-ups, the suits, for what he says they're fumbling of the media rights deal. He said, quote, morale sucks, plain and simple. The people I work with screwed this up so badly. That was his quote. And you can imagine, right? There's probably people, producers, camera people, audio people, who've worked on that show for years. And they're in Atlanta, and that's their thing, and where are they going to go? And people say, well, whatever, they'll just go over to Amazon, or they'll go over to NBC. It's not that easy, man. Ernie Johnson probably won't go. Charles Barkley on Ernie Johnson. I know Ernie would not go anywhere else. Ernie's almost 70 years old. I think he's going to retire sooner than later. I don't think he would go to another network. Ernie Johnson is as good as anybody's ever been corralling those big personalities together, don't you think?
Absolutely, because he's witty, he's funny.
Yes.
He can handle them.
Yes, he can take it, he can give it.
Because a lot of that, what makes it unique is it's not a well-structured show.
It's not a scripted show, yeah.
And there are times where it's like these dudes, yes, they're Hall of Famers, but they have no idea what they're talking about, but you still listen.
Well, and Ernie calls them out. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And then, like, Charles will say, can I get something off my chest? Not right now, Charles. We're going to go do these, and then we'll go, or can I get, yeah, go ahead. That's what you want to get off your chest? That's what, like they're so good. We're going to watch the NBA. Look, I contest that you've never, or very rarely, I shouldn't say never, watched a game or did not watch a game because of who the broadcasters are, let alone who the pregame show is, right? If you want to watch the Magic play the Cavaliers on a Tuesday night in November, you're going to watch it. And if you don't, you're not. I've told you I watch games. Bill Walton has lured me into games. He's one of the few, and the other one that I used to watch was Doc Emmerich. I would watch hockey games, just listen to Doc Emmerich painting. I thought he was as good as ever, and Vince Scully. But for the most part, you're going to watch or you're not going to watch. You don't care. But I will tell you the entertainment value on this. And I've told you during this playoffs, I've missed Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson on the ABC with Mike Breen. Now, I'm not watching any more or less because those guys aren't there. I've missed them. I think they were really good. But you're still going to watch, right? It's just going to be a bummer that they're not going to be there on a regular basis, if that's in fact where it goes, right?
That's where it's going.
Because on the ESPN nights, you still watch and you get the ESPN crew.
Yeah, you don't watch the NBA on TNT because of those guys, but you stick around after the game.
I think that's right.
You don't do that in other places.
Yeah, I think that's right. You watch the post game, you watch the halftime report, you want to see what they're going to do. Is Kenny going to trip run into the wall? Is Charles finally going to beat him? Yeah, they're really, really, really good. And it's a bummer, but I guess nothing lasts forever with the Virgin Sea, right? Isn't that Dust in the Wind, Kansas, I believe. All right, what do I get tonight? I get a little hockey. I get the Stars tonight and the Edmonton. The Oilers, that'll be good. And then game 2. You're saying take the Celtics and lay the points? 8.5?
I just think it's going to be one of those games for Boston.
Because that's what they do after quote-unquote subpar performances. They come back and blow people out. Okay. All right, Kenny will be with us tomorrow. Kenny Thomas. We'll also have Nick Nee, the director of golf out at the San Diego Golf Club. Tomorrow we'll talk. I'll get his thoughts on Xander Schauffele winning the PGA Championship. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men Ons here at 4. Award-winning radio back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work on the TV side. Big day for you, huh?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman. Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them.